large collection of eyeshadow palettes and get overwhelmed with trying to choose one? Well, keep watching and I will introduce to you a way to not have to decide. This is Throwing Shade Round 3 Update 2. When you have a collection the size of mine with over 100 eyeshadow palettes, you gotta do something. And this is a great way to do something about it. Hi, how is everybody? If you're new here, hi, thanks for stopping by. Welcome to the family. My name is Rose. I'm a girl boss on a budget who loves to save money and project pan. Today's video is my round 3 of Throwing Shade. So this is my second update on this project. The creators of this project is Jessica Lee and Amanda D. And the objective of Throwing Shade is you put all of your eyeshadow palettes into a random generator or a wheel and choose 3 eyeshadow palettes to focus on for the month with 1 eyeshadow palette per week. So the first palette chosen you use for the first week, the second palette chosen second week, third palette chosen you use for the third week, and then on the 4th week of the month you use all 4 combined. And as long as you're using each palette at least once a week, you know, it's just a good way to show your palette some love and to kind of cycle through your collection of eyeshadow palettes, especially when you have large numbers of eyeshadow palettes like me, coming in at over 100. I want to say I'm at 118 palettes right now, so it's always can be a challenge trying to decide each day when you have large numbers like that. So this is a really good way to decide for you. My start date on this is 9/25 of 2019, and there is really no end date. It's just ongoing until you have reached all of your eyeshadow palettes and come to the end and have fully cycled through. So I enter all of my eyeshadow palettes on an app on Facebook called We'll Decide, and each month after I have chosen 3 eyeshadow palettes, I take those 3 out just so it doesn't choose them again, obviously, and I want to make sure the number gets smaller each month that this project goes on until I have cycled through and used up all of them. Let's just go ahead and get right on in. I wanted to show you guys the 3 palettes that were chosen for me for last month, and that was the Ring the Alarm by Jaclyn Hill's Vault Collection, and then the Aurora Lights from BH Cosmetics, and the Zulu palette from Juvia's Place. So these were my 3 that were chosen for me this last month. Starting with the first week, I used the BH Cosmetics Aurora Lights palette, and this palette is absolutely gorgeous. It is a baked formula, and all of the shadows in here are all shimmers. So I will try to find some pictures to insert to show you, because I wasn't able to create full looks with this palette, so it might be challenging. I did just use a couple of these shimmer shades mixed in with other palettes because I can't do a full look with all shimmers. So there was a couple looks where I used Magnetic, and then I did another look with Borealis, and I just tried to incorporate it the best that I could. I want to say I used it probably 3 times on the first week, but this is a really nice palette, and I was glad, of course, it was chosen. I'm excited. I love this project anyway, so I'm excited for any palette to be chosen, just so, especially if it's something that I had forgotten about, it gives me a good reason to use it again. So then for the second week, I was chosen the Jaclyn Hill Ring the Alarm palette from the Vault Collection. And this is just your beautiful, you know, warm toned reds and oranges and like a nice gold in there. And this is a really nice palette. I will be sure to insert photos to show you guys some of the looks that I have created with this palette. I used it a couple times for the second week and I really enjoyed it. I got a lot of good use out of it, and I really did get a lot of good use out of this when it first came out. I bought the whole vault collection and I did get a lot of good use out of it then. And then of course, as my collection grew, I forgot about these, as I have forgotten about so many, because at 118 eyeshadow palettes, how am I going to remember to use all of them? There's just no way. So this is such a great way to make sure I can cycle through all of my eyeshadow palettes. And of course, I will be sure to link down in the description box all of the details as far as the app to choose from. You can use Tiny Decisions, Wheel Decide, Roulette Wheel. There's so many wheels that you can put your eyeshadow palettes into. And then for the third week of the month, I was chosen the Juvia's Place Zulu palette, which we all know and love. I feel if you're an eyeshadow palette lover of any kind, you know about Juvia's Place's formula, and it is just to die for. I freaking love Juvia's Place's palettes. They are so absolutely beautiful, you guys. I think I did 2 looks with this, but I did one prior to the project. I will insert it to show you guys anyways because it was really pretty. But I did just use this one time for the third week. And I use these shades up here. As you can see in the photo, it is absolutely beautiful look. It came out. It was one of my better makeup days and I really, really enjoyed it. And then I used the 2 blues on my lower lash line. And let me just give you guys a swatch of this green and this pink and the blue here, because you guys, Juvia's Place is just out of this world. So look at that. Oh my goodness. My lights are so bright, so I got to make sure I can adjust it and, you know, keep my hand back at a certain angle, and I can zoom in so you guys can see the crazy pigmentation on those shades. So freaking stunning. Which is part of my problem and why I had such a hard time and a problem with buying eyeshadow palettes, especially when it is a good formula, because it can just be so freaking addicting because of how incredible formulas are. There are so many good formulas out there on the market now. It's crazy. Were some of the looks that I created with those 3 palettes. I at least try to use them at least once a week. As long as you're doing that, then that's really all that matters. But I try to use them as much as I can. But I'm doing, you know, panning those eyeshadows. I have 2 different pan those eyeshadows that I'm doing right now, trying to focus on hit and pan. I will link it in the description box for you guys. The Pan Those Eyeshadows series is that I have started, and I'm doing the other one called 101 pans. So it's been taking a lot of my focus, but of course I tend to branch out a lot from it, which is why we're almost a month in those projects and I haven't hit no pans yet except for one. So I got my wheel pulled up and ready to go. This is from the app called Wheel Decide, and you can see there is the wheel and there are as many entries as it will let me enter, which this is the one that will let me enter the most entries, which is 100. But since I have used and been doing this project for 2 months now, I was able to take out 6 and add in a couple more because unfortunately, for whatever reason, I cannot enter or find a wheel that will let me enter more than 100 entries. I've been having problems with my Tiny Decision app. I know others can enter up to over 100 in it, but for some reason mine won't let me. So if anybody has any recommendations of actual wheels that will let you enter more than 100 entries in, please leave a comment down below and let me know. So let's just go ahead and spin the wheel. I'm so excited to pick some 3 new palettes for this month coming up, which is my month cycle starting today. And the first palette is Sundown. I'm going to write these down. Okay. So what we're going to do is I will go ahead and spin the wheel 3 times and get down all 3 of the eyeshadow palettes that are going to be chosen. And then I will go get the palettes and show you guys the palettes. So For the first week, it chose the palette Sundown, which is a palette from C-Color Cosmetics, and it is a dupe for the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. So let's just keep going and pick the other two palettes. Dream Street is the second palette, and then let's go ahead and pick for the third week. BH Cosmetics Festival palette. Okay, so it chose the three palettes. Let me go get those three palettes and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back and I got my three palettes. Starting with the first week is the C-Color Cosmetics Sundown palette. And this is a dupe for the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. So as you can see, it is your very typical warm palette with more reds and yellows, but it is a really pretty palette and I'm excited to use it. For the second week, it chose Dream Street, which is a ColourPop and Kathleen Lights collaboration. Very, very pretty palette. I am really glad it did pick this one because I haven't played with it in quite a while. So I will be excited to get some good use out of her. And then for the third week, it chose the BH Cosmetics Color Festival palette, which I'm very excited because if you know anything about me, you know I love me some colorful looks. So this palette is absolutely stunning. I have gotten a lot of good use out of it in the summertime, so I will be very excited to use this palette for the third week. And then of course for the fourth week you use all four in combined and to try to create a look with all four combined. And this month I am really going to try to make sure that I can use and I will use all three of my palettes on the fourth week, even if it is just one day, to create a look using all three combined. And what I did for my look today, what do you guys think? Think it came out really pretty, and I used a mixture between my Goddess palette and my Folklore Sunrise palette, which was just chosen for my Roulette pan collab. I will link it in the cards for you guys. Feel free to go check it out, but it was chosen. I forget what number it was. You have to go check it out, but I had to pick one eyeshadow out of here from a palette that I didn't reach for often, and I definitely never reach for this. Matter of fact, this is a dupe for the new nude Huda Beauty palette and I own the new nude palette, so that just goes to show you the hype of bigger influencers constantly getting you to buy stuff. I fell victim to that every single time, and I bought this and I don't even need it. I own the original, so I bought it, never even used it. So I picked the shade Champagne to use right there, and I put that all on the inner portion of my lid. I think it came out very pretty. And then I went ahead and I used a little bit of terracotta on the outer portion, and then I used Latte and Chocolate Martini all in my crease and kind of blown out. And then from the Goddess palette, because this is in my 101 pans, I use the shade Hera, which is the shade that I have chosen. Use the shade Hera all in and to just kind of soften up the darker shadows. So that is everything for this video for my round 3 and my update 2 of throwing shade. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I would love to have you over here. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It does help me so much. And I am slowly but surely growing. And it's all because of you guys. As soon as we get to 400 subscribers, I will be hosting another giveaway for that. And just my way of saying thank you to each and every one of you. So let's just keep going forward, you guys. And until the next video, everybody enjoy the rest of their day. Bye.